afternoon, and thank you for staying. I'm Mike Doral. I'm the dramaturg here at Salt Lake Acting Company. This is Kevin Murray, who's our producing director. Hello. Hello. Responsible for both design and direction of this show. If you're sitting right up the back, you may want to come down a little bit. So, Kevin, this is a show that we're proud of. You're responsible for a lot of things in this show. What is it that's, how is it? Is it 2 years since we first saw it at South Coast?
Actually, 2004, there was a reading of it at South Coast Rep Theater where Mike and David Mong and David Chambers saw it as a reading there. And when they came back, they said, this is a show we need to do. And
yeah, 3 years later, here we are.
Yeah, so it took us that long to get the rights because of Yale had the premiere rights to it in 2004, and then it got tied up in the rights in New York City.
Yeah,
and it had various other regional productions in the country.
We should probably explain that this sometimes happens. We see a play, we spot it, we think that would be a good one if we can get hold of it, and then it's a question of waiting sometimes until it goes through the things, and particularly once it gets locked up in New York, it takes us a little time. She said, "What?" I do want to ask Anne about this question about this is the first play that the lover is an older woman.
You mean for me?
Well, for one I've seen,
okay.
I think.
I don't think there's that I know of a play that has this much of an older woman with a younger man. Now, we had a little of that in Seeing the Elephant, but it was one kiss.
Yeah, and this is another J.T. Rogers play.
Right.
Yes. But this is a sweep you off your feet.
I hope so.
I don't know. I feel the love for me, Anne.
Good.
And then Joyce, I mean, what is it that you feel, apart from the usual jealousy and a kind of outrage, that the lover is actually older?
And deformed.
Well, I think it's clear that it's real. You know, he's not going through a midlife crisis.
He doesn't seem to be.
No, I mean, it seems like if he's picked this woman who's older and has, you know, all the things that you would think would be against her. I don't mean it, because I don't think that should be that way, but you would think that the way we look, and
it's not the stereotype.
It's not the stereotype, and so it's he's in love, which is even more horrifying.
Yes,
really.
and I'm not sure, Mark, that I can ever trust a surgeon again.
Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah.
No, when I read the script, I thought it was fantastic. Partly because of the breaking of the stereotypes, but also exploring that idea of a soulmate that was that intense. When I started thinking about what this character was like, I thought he isn't someone who's dissatisfied in his marriage. He thinks his wife is great. He had no clue this would ever happen. He had no idea this was even possible. And it hit him clear out of the blue. That's why he's so innocent in coming and saying, "Aren't you excited for me?" Excited that it can even happen is part of what I think he's excited about. That everyone should be that excited that this can happen.
Anne, how seriously do we want to take this cleaning as a metaphor?
Well, she's just, Virginia's an incredibly lonely, unhappy person, and her neuroses comes out in the fact that her relationship with her husband, as I see it, is completely uncontrollable. So the only thing she can control is the environment in her living space.
And yet there is that kind of cross-grained moment when you talk about folding Charles's underwear. It's that wonderful moment, and we know you have, but she doesn't know you have.
Yeah.
Do you fancy him?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah. She thinks he's, Lane gets the best of everything. She's got this lovely man who's successful. My husband is also successful, but, he's. Does anybody watch Sex in the City? And the woman that falls in love with the balding lawyer. That's my husband in my mind. That's Virginia's husband,
Okay, you said
okay?
so you cast.
But he works. He's a workaholic. He's never home. So she's very, very lonely. So yes, she does fancy Charles in a sort of set apart, sort of, you know, on a pedestal sort of way.
Right, but not in a way that she would
No,
No.
no,
do something.
no.
Yeah. And tell us the story of how you came to be here. I know the story, but tell us for the
it's
audience.
been a long road. I'm actually very excited to be here because I live in New York, and when this play happened about 3.5 years ago, I got a call from a casting director who said, "Hey, there's a perfect role for you in the script. Will you come and audition for it?" And I read the play for the first time and was absolutely blown away for it because I haven't felt that there are a lot of. I think you guys, maybe because you live here in the States and all this. Well, I live here in the States too, but because you're from here, you feel very represented in a lot of plays. But I had never read a play where I was represented in such a clear light. So it very much excited me, and I thought, oh, I need to get this role. You know, this is amazing.
And you're from Colombia.
I was born in Brazil, but I was raised in Colombia. So then started this progression of about 30 auditions for this one piece. In 3.5 years, I've auditioned for, I think there are maybe 2 productions of the play that I have not auditioned for. So I've auditioned for literally almost every production of the piece that's been made. And, you know, nobody saw what Kevin saw, I guess, and so I'm just so thrilled to be here and have a stab at it, you know. So it's like this monkey on my back.
Well, you know, we're very glad that you did, and, you know, welcome to you.
So that's the great part about the audience response, is it is the individual one.
And it's the realism that makes the magic.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
too. That,
Absolutely.
And I just want to say there, Mark has a line, Charles has a line that I think also says it all about the play, which is, he says there are big, well, you say it, they're big and
There are
different.
big invisible things that come unannounced.
And when
They walk in and we have to give way.
and whether it's an illness or another person, or, I mean, we all know that. It's just, and you know, you have to, your life is
And
going to change.
might as well laugh.
I'm keeping an eye on the time. Just over 2 hours, you're coming back for another performance. So I'm going to close this down and let you go. Thank you all.
Thank you.